Good morning.
Good
I
morning.
welcome Dolores Easton, a very successful online business owner, entrepreneur. Today we're talking about I love and I thrive on teaching people how to get love the way they need. And Dolores has experienced some of my teachings and my programs, and so I wanted to get her to share with you some of the insights. We met a long time ago. We were just chatting about that a number of years ago, and you were introduced to the Enneagram back then. What did you think?
It was really funny because at that time, and I believe everything happens at the right time. And at that time, I was probably not open to it because I was in a different place of my life where I just wanted to be an achiever, and my focus was money and this perfectionist and being all that. And I really didn't look at it as I had a problem, or it wasn't even a problem. I didn't want to work on my relationship. I only wanted to work on my business. And as maturity came, and as my kids got older and now they had relationships, I started going, I want them to have a better relationship with their spouses. Therefore, for that to happen, I have to look back at mine. And then when we met up again, I was like all over this. Like, Eileen, I really need to do this. I want this. I want to take this test. I want Russ in. Because when you get to this age, and that's in your mid-50s, you start to look at your life differently. And I want to be loved the way I deserve to be loved.
You want more meaning, you want more connection. Women come to me and they feel misunderstood, unloved, irrelevant, or they have low self-esteem. And that's very sad. Then it affects all the relationships because the relationships are the foundations of our lives, right?
Correct.
And so this is why I created this program. I struggled in a 35-year marriage. I went through all those stages of trying to figure it out, and I wasn't good enough, and why are we good people, and why can we not connect? And then it comes down to, well, maybe they don't love us, and that's not always the truth. It's that they don't know how to love us, and the real truth is we don't know what that is for ourselves.
Correct. And that's because we all have belief systems. We all have these patterns. We all have some sort of resentment from the beginning of our marriages or things that didn't go. And we carry that with us. So until you actually learn to forgive and set intentions of loving each other and removing that anger and that resentment and working with each other, then you can't move forward. And what I loved about your program and what I loved about is the videos. Like, I'm this person that if I'm going to start something, I can't end it. So like I was like watching them back to back. And it was like a whole night thing. And then I was like now replaying this in my sleep and all week as I was processing things, and I would do something that would be very, as an achiever would do. I would have to say, okay, you know what, Dolores, you're a mom and you're a grandma and you're a wife. So put that down. It's not going anywhere, and go be that. And I started loving everything I did. Nice. So even like loving camping, where before I was like, I would take my whole office with me.
Yeah.
I would take my office with me, set it up like a business. And these guys are like, are you real? Are you for real, Mom? Like, I'm like, I'll have fun throughout the day as we do a little bike ride here and there. Like, and that's what they grew up with. They grew up with a mom that took her office with her.
Yeah. What Dolores is talking about is, we're talking about the Enneagram personalities, which has been around since the 1700s. It's a well-respected model. It's used in corporations, religions use it, therapists use it, and people use it as a self-development tool because it's the only personality system that has a growth path. It shows you how to change those patterns that are sabotaging you into patterns that are more life-enhancing. And so Dolores took the personality test and discovered she was a 3 achiever. What did it feel like when you first read your profile of the 3 achiever?
You know what? I have to be honest. I wasn't that impressed. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm all that. Like, I can't, like, not that I didn't, like, there was lots that I got out of it that I'm like, oh yeah, for sure, I love that about myself. But there was some things when I didn't love about myself, then it kind of really hit home. I was like, oh, that needs changing, and that needs some awareness, and that needs some, that needs some work, not because it wasn't good, but just being aware of it was amazing, because that was an eye-opener, and I love it, because if you get to be aware of who you are and what you don't like about yourself, you get to change that, and that was the best.
Yeah, until you understand what's happening, why, and how to change it. And see, we all have, so the gifts of your personality, we have gifts and we strengths and challenges. And the thing is, if we use our gifts in a wrong way or in an unhealthy way, then they become challenges. And the cool thing about the Enneagram is it shows you exactly what those are. I can identify, boy, when I read my challenges, it was like, ooh, that stings a bit. But you know, your power is in stepping into those and saying, you know what, that is true about me. And that's why people sometimes react to me in certain ways. But the most important thing is it's about taking all the parts of you and healing it and bringing it in and becoming more, aware and conscious and living a more conscious life with it.
Yes, yes. And it's funny because for the last couple of weeks, I didn't realize that my husband had already done the little quiz, and we kind of did it together on the way to Edmonton. And then he redid it, and then he redid it again this morning. And I'm thinking, this is amazing, because that wouldn't have been who he had been in the past, in the beginning of our relationship, which is like 32 years. But because it was so important to me, it became important to him.
Nice.
And we decided that he was a
5 contemplator.
Right. And then he had some of the strong other ones, but it was really fun. And he was fine with that. He was absolutely fine with it, but he acknowledges it. And this is what's made us stronger over the last month, because I would say to him, okay, I know how your brain works now. So we're going to go out tonight, or I'm going to go away for the weekend. I'm going to give you, again, an opportunity to join me at this big function that I'm going to, because you know me, if I get to this function, my hair, and I let my hair down, it's going to be a good time. And he's like, yeah, I want you to go and have a good time, because everywhere you go is a good time. But not because he thought he was going to be less value there. It's just that he really wanted me to just go and live it up and not feel like I was trying to, fit him in or make him more comfortable. So it was great, and that wouldn't have been the way it would have looked like before.
Yeah, because you can understand. So it's like having wiring, right? Yeah. He's a Hummer and you're a Honda, and you're wired differently, and you can do lots of things the same. But when you really understand the depth of the being of the person you're living with and loving with, you really can take that love differently. And a lot of things aren't as personal. Him maybe not wanting to join you might have offended you before. I want you here, I want you close, I want you doing this with me. But understanding that 5 contemplators generally aren't as sociable and engaging in some of those sorts of events. And so it's allowing each other to be who they are, right?
Yes, yes.
And
it's
so
really funny, because when I even started doing the work and looking at this amazing program, and again, I'm so grateful for all the hard work that you put into this. It goes without, it's just amazing how you put this together. It's borderline genius. That's what I'm going to tell you. It's borderline genius. But what I realized is when I was doing this, I was thinking to myself, you know what? This is for everybody, for every young to older. There's no age limit in this program, and I think if you start younger, you got this beat, because you're already going into it.
Oh, absolutely.
And you don't have to go through the struggles, but it comes with work. It comes with work. And so it's not a magic wand. It's not like, you just watch the video and everything is done for you. That's not how it works. This is a continuous work. It's like a diet. If you go off of it, you're going to gain your weight back. It's a lifestyle. You either choose to live it as a lifestyle and make it part of your everyday marriage, or it's still not going to work, because you have to be very aware, and you have to be willing to make this. If you go to work every day and work a 9-to-5 job and you give them all you have, then you can come home and give the other 3 hours and all you have to the relationship, because that's what it entitles.
Yeah, it is like a toolbox. In this, what we're talking about here is my online Get Love program. Get Love the Way You Need. And it is a series of 13 videos. Some of them are 5 minutes, some are 20 minutes, 2.5 hours of video time. But it takes you through a process of understanding. First of all, it starts with what people love about your personality type. And then it goes into what your personality type wants others to know, and your partner, you know, what you need from your partner and they from you, and response ability, and how to handle stress for your personality type. Fundamentally, how to get loved the way you need. Each personality has their own emotional needs to feel loved and valued. And that's the process that we go through. I had one gal take this program, and she called me up and she said, you know, I was crying after the first 3 videos. And I went, oh my gosh, that wasn't my intention. It was to make people cry. And she said, I said, why were you crying? And she said, no one has ever told me before what was great about me.
Oh, beautiful.
And then she said to her husband, I want you to sit down and I want you to watch this with me. This is me. This is all of me. And I want you to understand all of me. And that changed their whole relationship, just as you're talking about. You're now reviewing the program for your husband, Russ, and understanding, you know, personality is formed by the age of 7. We look out on our family of origin and we decide we need to be a certain way, play a certain role. It's a survival technique to get the most love and attention. Then we form patterns, then we form roles, and this is our personality. But the cool thing about this is you can change those traits that don't work for you. And it gives you your own sense of value, because that's what we're looking for in all our relationships. Do you value me? And you talking about, you know, changing how you're doing your life, of shifting from the busy bee workaholic to inclusively successful in all of your life.
Mm-hmm. It's true, because you know what? I do feel healthier, wealthier, and more loved.
That's wonderful.
Based on just opening up to all of everything that I've been learning, and there's just and you give so much information. So much. It's like you reprogram your brain, because there's just so much, and I love it. Like, you know, you take what you want out of it and you leave what you don't need. So it's like everything that's meant or intended to really resonate with you, you'll get it. What's not that important, it'll just be off to the side. But that's what I love, because you can get what you want from this.
Yeah, and the teachings of the Enneagram is that you can go up the scale of healthy behavior, right? From unhealthy to medium behavior and it gives you the view of what it looks like to become your best person. So I look at that for myself, and there's days when, you know, it's like, well, I wasn't my best self there, but then I know how to fix it. I know how to handle my stress, or to go back to someone else if I've offended them. It gives you tools to negotiate and to be more kind and loving, but most importantly, for yourself. Like the becoming of myself was it was the best gift I've ever. I lead a very different life than what I used to. I thrive in my life.
Do you know what I love when you're saying that? When you say that you got married when you were 18, married for 35 years, and now what you've developed this program, which is amazing and outstanding. Yeah. And I admire you so much. And I wish back then, 5 years ago, I had the will or the understanding to have connected with you back then. But I also believe that it wasn't divine intended at the time. And this is all in the timing, because everything that happens to me happens at the right time. So I think then I would be probably not as open to it. But I love that the age group, when we talk about, it's like, you know, from the young, but the struggles really start later in the marriage. Like, you're busy raising children and you're getting them off to school, and then once they get married and leave, and then it's the two of you, and you really got to learn how to love each other, because that's what you got.
And you've got this big pile of resentments that you have, that you do not know how to find solutions to or resolve. And that's what happens with couples, is they know they have personality differences. The challenges are those personality differences and how to get their needs met. And this is often what breaks couples apart. And so that's why I created this program of deep understanding to build connection and bring couples together. That's
And
my
it's
passion.
never too late. And it's never too late. And that's the most important thing. A lot of people think, it's too late. It's done. The damage is done. It's not repairable. It is. Everything is repairable. Everything is fixable. We know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have people coming to me, should I stay or should I go? No matter how great your relationship is, I will tell you at times, I'm sure you go to bed thinking, does my partner really love me? And, is this all there is? There's that yearning for that, do you see me? Do you value me? And that's what challenges people in relationships. And so they come to me and, I think I need some support and coaching and I'm going to leave this relationship. My main goal is to see if we can rejuvenate, reconnect the relationship and bring couples together. And to because it ain't easy going through the divorce and out there either. That's not the answer.
That's not the answer. And this is, if I leave someone with something to work with today, is that if you got to work on you first and you got to do the program first and then bring your spouse in, I did it first because it was important for me to see the value and to understand it and then have the tools to then say to my husband, I want you to take a look at this also because it's important to me and I want to do this together. And that was actually so important because if I had thrown him into this first or together, I needed to see it first. That's my personality. Yep. And so I want people to know there, like, just because you think that you need to do it together, you can come together with this. But if you have to do it, first of all, on your own, it works. It works.
Yeah, I've had people come to me. One woman came to me and her partner, her husband never ever came. But the work she did and what I taught her how to engage him, and to start asking him questions. Tell me if this is true about you. Do you relate to that? I'm working on this. It shifted their whole relationship. She called me up and she said, you won't believe my husband. He is thriving. He's doing things. He's speaking up. He's excited. He's just mirroring what I'm doing.
Yes, I love that word. I love that word because it's true. I thank you, Eileen. I thank you.
Well, I'm so honored that you would be willing to come on and share with other people how, and what I love, it's quick, right?
Yeah.
It's a quick awareness. And when I also do the couple dynamics readings between couples, what their partners and what men love about this is it's logical. You can give them factual, specific information about them and about their partner and the easy way to make them happy. It's like having an operator's manual. Oh, my wife is stressed. She's a 3. This is what her pattern's like. I need to do this, da-da-da-da-da, and back on track. And they can do things just what can I do to take the load off you today while you're working would be a very loving way of interacting with you, correct?
Correct.
It would feel loving.
Yeah. I mean,
a 3 achiever, right?
I was going to say, if you don't mind, can you share with the world, our friends, you have a special going on right now?
I do. The special right now is my online Get Love program. I'm offering for $27. It's like you said, 3.5 hours of video time per personality. So it's $27 per personality program. So I'm just really passionate about getting it out there to people.
We'll post that on the bottom of our video so that they know that that special that we have running, that you have running. And because I think that it's important that we leave this with everything that we've given and shared with our friends here. And I'm just so proud of you and excited that this is going to be the new journey and path that you're on. And it didn't take long for you to get where you need to get on this because it's just, everything feels so right.
Yeah, I feel really aligned. This is a value of $97, and I'm not sure how long I'm going to offer it. So hop on there and get love the way you need, because it is the path of understanding yourself. And it's lovely when you can say to your partner, here, this is what I need, if you're unable to speak up, right?
Exactly. Thanks again, Eileen.
Thank you for being on, Dolores, and we'll continue our journey together.
Perfect.